very warm welcome. I'm Ellie Lucas, Development Officer for the National Activity Providers Association and leading on this year's National Day of Arts and Care Homes. I'm delighted to be here as part of the celebration in the lead up to the National Day on the 24th of September. This special day is all about shining a light on the creativity, joy and connection that the arts bring to people living and working in care settings. Today, I'm really excited to be joined by Julia, an activity coordinator and graphic designer who has been leading a truly inspiring collaborative project with 18 care homes. Julia, thank you so much for joining us today. To start us off, would you like to tell us a bit about yourself and your role as an activity coordinator?
I'm an activities coordinator in Swindon. Previous to that, my career was in design, graphic design, events, social media, and no, I think that's about it. Yeah. And so this gave me a creative background, and combined with my activities role, gave me a good overview for creating an event that I have done.
Amazing. And I'm sure that your extensive creative background has really been a big part of influencing and inspiring you to bring the arts into your activity provision.
It has. I love all things creative.
Absolutely. You're after my own heart, Julia, as an ex-graphic designer myself, or not ex, still current. So let's talk about your incredible collaborative projects that you're working on. So it's a huge 9-foot piece that you've designed, which you've then divided into 72 tiles and put them together into art packs and shared them with these 18 care homes who, from what you've told me before, have been very eager to get involved. But can you tell me a bit about how did the idea start with such a large scale project?
Initially, I did a smaller project with painted rocks with the homes that were local to our home. And this was for Dementia Week, and brought them together in an event where all the rocks were placed around. We had over 300 rocks in the end. And after that, I wanted to create a larger scale project involving more homes because of the creativity that I saw within the rocks that were painted. I wanted to do an exhibition and a collaborative exhibition, and I wanted each home to have a section for them to create. So this is where this idea came from. And with my graphics background, I knew that I could draw a large scale image and then divide it up into sections for each home. At that point, I didn't know how large this was going to be or how many homes would be included, but once I had the space and I knew how large that was, and then I could divide it up, then I knew how many homes could be included. And that's when I sent invites out, and the response was truly overwhelming. And I'm thrilled to bits that so many homes wanted to be included in the project.
Oh, that is brilliant. And it's so wonderful that so many are getting involved and wanted, but it's such a big project, and I've very much applaud you for taking on this challenge, and it sounds like it's going so well, but I can imagine that there must have been some challenges along the way. Is there any that you've come across as you've been going through?
Only fundraising, I would have said, just because the time scale that I have done this in is quite short. The funds that maybe would have been available from some organisations need a lot longer than I've had. So that may be a consideration going forward for another project. But for this one, I have been able to do it with what's been available to me.
Oh, That's fantastic, and absolutely that can be a challenge at times, but it really sounds like you've made the most of it. And I think that is one thing that we've been trying to do with this year's theme of green as well, is that there are lots of ways you can get creative on a maybe a slightly smaller budget. But it sounds like you've been doing brilliantly. There can be challenges along the way. But I would love to hear more about, have you heard about any of the residents' experiences so far with working on their tiles and how they've responded to being a part of this project?
I've been, photographs have been shared with me. I can see how happy they have been to be included in the project. When I visit the homes to collect the tiles next week, then I'll be getting some more feedback on how everybody got on. But from the images, what I'm seeing is how different each of the tiles are, and how everybody interprets their tiles completely differently, which is part of the joy of it. And nobody will know how this is going to look until it's put back together, and that's the exciting part of it, because how I visualize it is completely different to each individual tile and how each individual has decided to paint their tiles.
Absolutely. I think that's something that's going to make this end product that you'll be creating so special and filled with magic. It's just, you just never know how it might come together. And as you said, I think that really is the exciting part, because people will express themselves in their own way, which is what the arts are all about.
Yeah.
Of course, once all the tiles are decorated, you will be bringing them together as one big piece that you'll be unveiling in October. Can you tell us a bit more about the plans for the unveiling?
So I will be installing it in October at our local theatre. I will be taking the tiles and installing them there, just because the board behind is flexible and I don't want them being damaged by being transported. Once it's installed at the theatre, we have a finale where we'll have our local media, yourselves, we've got entertainment and refreshments, and all of the homes that have participated have been invited to join the finale to come and view the final piece, because that will be their first opportunity to see their tiles in place and also to see how it fits into the overall design.
Oh, that's fantastic. I think it would be such a great opportunity for those who have taken part to come together, because arts, not only does it bring joy, but it can bring connection. That's something that you're really doing with this project, is connecting these different individuals and these different care homes through a joint collaborative project. And it can really help people to feel pride in what they're doing and being able to see it on that big grand scale at something that they've been a part of. I think it is so special, and it's what the National Day is all about connection and bringing people together. And I think it's so special what you're doing. What do you hope that the finished artwork will mean to the residents and their families and the care homes that have taken part?
The concept was to showcase creativity in care homes, and to be part of that community, bringing all of those care homes together in one big project. And that's the wonderful part of it, is when everybody sees it, they're going to know that they're part of a wider project. So it's not just something individual. They've created an enormous piece that is cohesive, and they, for example, they may not have had the whole of one image. They've got 4 tiles, but say they've got a bird, but they might only get the bottom half or the top half of it. So when it's brought together, they're going to be able to see how people interpreted all of those 4 tiles, and that's the exciting part of it.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't wait to see the final project and see how it all comes together. But it is projects like this that show the power of connection. And how do you think initiatives like this can really help build a stronger sense of community, not just within care homes themselves, but within the broader communities? Obviously, yours is within Swindon, and you've got most of the care homes in Swindon involved. So you're really helping to build those connections between the wider community.
I think I connected with activities coordinators in other homes. That collaboration, support for each other, sharing ideas, sharing resources is really important. And also being able to visit other homes. I just think that community, it just means that you don't feel that you are just one home on your own, because you know that once you've got those connections, that you can bring all those people together in one place and create magic.
Absolutely. I think the key word here really is magic. It is just so wonderful. And on top of this project, you've also previously created a Facebook group to support other activity providers in your area. That you're very much actively, it's ongoing. And it's such a generous thing to do. But what inspired you to start that up?
Because there wasn't one in the area, and I had met other coordinators when I'd gone to other homes. In fact, I'd seek them out. They're generally wearing something bright like me. And I just started talking to them and finding out that we were all seeking the same information, sharing ideas, sharing entertainers, looking for resources, or maybe somebody might have had a party and they've got the decorations that we could use, and that sort of collaboration. Or maybe they're having an event that we're interested in, or vice versa. So we can get involved as a community that way. And so I built a group. I brought the people in that I'd already met into one group, and it grew from there. And this was basically was for support for each other and for other coordinators in the area. So now we have over 600 members from all over the country, actually, not just in Swindon.
Wow, that really is fantastic, because as you said, we're all in this together, really. We've all got that ultimate goal to support individuals and help to bring these really meaningful engagements that give purpose and joy and connection and enhance well-being, and being able to share and connect and support each other, I think, is really important. And that's something that we strive to do at NAPA, and create that community with activity providers, in particular with the National Day of Arts in Care Homes. It's bringing people together to celebrate the arts within care and activity provision. And I think it's really, really important what you're doing, both with your project and with your support through the Facebook group. Before we finish, we have had a question through from someone at home. Just a very quick question. And they've said, I love the sound of this project. How did you decide on the design that you chose for the 9-foot artwork, and what does it represent?
The design is very well considered, because it needed to be all inclusive for all abilities. And I did try one other design, but when I coloured it, I knew that it wasn't going to work for the audience that I was delivering it to. So then I decided on geometric shapes, and I also broke it down into the abilities of the home that it was going to. So that would be if I knew that someone would have difficulty with maybe their hands or their site, I would give them the larger pieces with the larger geometric shapes. If it was going to more of a residential with less dementia or with a higher ability, I would give them a more complicated design. So every section was thought of very carefully. And even for the animals, they are quite large. Each tile is around A4. So if you've got a section, then you've got a what's it, 1, 2, 3, A2, like they're quite big. So even when it breaks down, everybody should be able to paint that, or a section of it, or even if they can't paint a whole section, be able to make a brush mark with assistance.
That is just amazing. You really have put so much thought into every single element involved within the project. And just to finish off with one fun one, if you could sum up what art in care means to you in just 3 words, what would they be?
Joy, creativity, and connection.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you. It really is what it's all about, and it's what the National Day is all about, really trying to celebrate the joy, creativity and connection that is taking place in care settings across the UK all year round, not just on the National Day. And it's so wonderful with how you're getting involved. I just want to thank you so much for sharing your story and this wonderful project with us today. It really has been so inspiring hearing about the creativity and the collaboration that's happening across care homes. For anyone else who would like to follow along the journey of this collaborative artwork, or to connect, we'll tag your pages below for you alongside this. And if you're wanting to get involved with the National Day of Arts in Care Homes yourself, we've got a wide range of free resources available for you that we'll also leave in the comments below for you to be able to get involved yourselves and celebrate the arts in care homes and the real power and impact it can have on all of us every day, everyone that's living and working in care settings. But of course, thank you all so much for watching, and thank you, Julia, for being here today. We hope you all get very creative for the National Day, and we look forward to seeing what you come up with. Making sure you tag us and use the hashtag that you can see below, hashtag AICH 2025. But we hope you all have a lovely creative day. Thank you so much.